nice.
Hey YouTubers, Grimmy here, and welcome to the start of the month of toys featuring Transformers the movie. Yep, it's time to start this off, and we're actually going to start off with a set that came out just before Generations. In fact, it was one of the last sets to be featured under the Universe 2.0 line, and this is actually a Hasbro Asia exclusive. And that would be the Challange at Cybertron set, featuring two familiar figures, like two familiar repaints that came out later in the US, and one which was exclusive to this Hasbro Asia set, and that was Galvatron. Okay, now this particular iteration of Galvatron is pretty much an off-white tank for a vehicle mode, with the barrel being his classic fusion cannon. And it's not a bad vehicle mode, really, once you can actually get it together. The problem is getting it together. This guy is very panely, and initially I had a hard time actually getting him into tank mode. It seems age has worked in its favor, because this is the most solid I've ever gotten this particular version of the Universe Galvatron figure. So he's actually quite solid right now, which is astonishing to me, because usually I couldn't get these back panels to actually stay in place. So that's a positive. Now he does everything you expect a tank to do. He has a moving turret. Very, very nice movement on there. He has the, he has a little missile launcher here for some reason. And the cannon actually fires a missile, which is all translucent orange, much like the barrel of the gun. All in all, I do like the vehicle mode. It's not a bad iteration for Galvatron. It's not a bad vehicle mode for him. And it's a little more believable than the space cannon he transformed into in G1. So I do give it points for that. Now, for paint apps on this, it's minimum at best. You've got a couple paint apps on the sides. The treads are painted, which is good. I mean, you want to be able to tell the treads apart. But it's only the bottom of the tread that actually is painted. So it leaves him very bare as far as paint apps go, which is actually a downgrade from his Universe 2.0 version, which is here, which had considerably more silver paint on it, as well as some lettering. And I'm not going to say this is heavily painted, but there's a little bit more to it than what this one has. Still, I do like the lighter color on this guy, so I think it works out quite well. The only downside is in the transformation, which it's next to impossible to get him to transform without something falling off. And I'll get more into that when I get him into robot mode, which should be momentarily. Alright, now that we got Galvatron in his robot mode, he does look a little bit on the messy side. I'll admit it. For the most part, it's not bad, but the arms are kind of off. given that one's made entirely of the tank turret and the other one was just hidden within the bottom of the tank. Now, unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, he has a bit of problems with transformation. Basically, the arms will more than likely come off when you're trying to transform him. This one's on a ball joint that's kind of weak and is prone to popping off easy, as well as the shoulder bicep swivel that can pop off easy enough on this one. And this one is a part on a track that can be undone rather easily. So yeah, you gotta be real careful with this one. Now for articulation, you do got a left and right swivel at the head. This arm has a ball jointed shoulder, bicep swivel, and a double jointed elbow. And yeah, the shoulder is very loose. Probably could use some floor polish to tighten that up. On this side, it's just a left and right, like an up and down swivel. He does have a bicep swivel, and a 90-degree turn at the elbow. But nothing else. Oh yeah, and you can move the fusion cannon around a bit, which will help with aiming it. With that said, it is a little bit more limited. He does have a waist swivel, universal hips, he has a thigh swivel above the knee, 90-degree knee bend. He has a swivel below the knee due to transformation. He also has a bit of an ankle pivot and a toe movement. So he does have a good amount of articulation. It's still a little limited by the kibble because everything will crash into everything else with him. It's unfortunate but true, and the lack of a universal joint on this shoulder is kind of limit the amount of posing options for the cannon. Again, a shame, but I guess that's just what they had to deal with this guy. Now, looking at the face, that is actually a pretty good Galvatron head sculpt. I mean, they got the crown just right, and the face is actually nice looking. But other than that, he's a little bit like the body is just a mess. That's all I could really say. This is the weak link of the whole set, and one of the weakest figures in the Universe 2.0 line in general. Now for this one, the plastic is actually nice. It adds a bit of a sparkle to it, which is pretty cool. And I like the slightly off-white colors. It's just the orange that's there that really screws up the aesthetic. If they could have used some other color besides neon orange for the joints, it would have been so much better. At least as far as look goes. I mean, the build construction's pretty much beyond all hope, but you know, a changing color on these orange things would have been so much better for a display at least. But for a quick comparison, let's bring in the more standard Universe 2.0 Galvatron. And honestly, paint job wise, he is so much better. He is so much of an improvement over this guy. And it's okay, but the dark colors are a little bit too far, and it only makes that neon orange more noticeable. Although I do like the silver face on him. But all in all, this paint job is so much better, and that's the only real improvement I can note on this guy. I mean, he has definitely got a more G1 accurate paint job, even if the overall aesthetic is still pretty lousy as far as the figure goes. So most I can really say it is just one of the worst figures the Universe line has produced. That was at least as far as what I got. Which really makes me feel like we need a new Galvatron figure. We need a Voyager Galvatron figure. I mean, if they'd made Cyclonus into Galvatron instead of Cyclonus, they made it more Galvatron-like, gave it the fusion cannon, made it a tank or something, you know, made a Galvatron figure for the Combiner Wars line, I would have been so happy with that. But to just make Cyclonus and make his combined form Galvatron-like, that was not received well by me. And I know I'm ranting about a figure that's not even being shown, but I just want a new Galvatron. Because this one is just no good. You know, this is the reason you want to go for the Reveal the Shield set for Cyclonus and Hot Rod. Because this is one to avoid. You can go third party, get Mania King if you want to get a Galvatron for your set, but yeah, this one I can't recommend. But the good news is these are the worst of the bunch, so it's only going to get better from here. So, in conclusion, Galvatron here would definitely count as the weakest figure of the Challange at Cybertron set, the weakest figure of Universe 2.0, and the weakest figure of this entire marathon. So, yeah, it's going to get better from here. So you got something to look forward to. But anyway, Wednesday, next time we meet, we will be looking at Rodimus. Or as I'm probably going to call him 100 times, Hot Rod. Because that's who the character is. So I will see you then when we look at this guy here. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Obviously, I'm trying something a little new. I'd like to know what you guys think of that. Also, leave a comment. Well, yeah, obviously, I just asked you to leave a comment. Leave a like. Subscribe to see more videos. Share with your friends. All that good stuff. And I will see you next time. So take care. So long. Have fun. And bye-bye.